Hello everybody. Chad here, Vinyl Editions number 5000. Hope you all are doing well. Playing in the background is Amandul Yeti, one of my favorite albums of all time. Got some cool stuff to show you, so let's just get right to it. First thing, really rivals on being a Grell for me. I did not have this album. It was on my list. It's not necessarily a hard album to find, but I did manage to snatch up a promo copy. John Cale's Paris 1919. This is a promo on Warner Brothers, 1973, March of 1973 actually. Just a phenomenal album, Baroque pop, just really an absolute masterpiece. Still personally partial to John Cale's 1971 LP, Vintage Violence. However, this is phenomenal. I had actually went to the record store to get something else, and they had this nice little area there that they put all the really rare things up on the wall, and I saw this there, and I had to put back what I went there to get, because you can't leave that there. You know, it's going to be gone by the time you get back. So John Cale, Paris 1919, promo copy. Sounds phenomenal. So there's one thing. I watched a movie on these guys, a documentary about this band a few days ago, and I've seen this record shown in the VC, so I'm a little late to this party, but I'm just glad I made it, because this is phenomenal shit. Death for All the World to See. The movie is called, if you have Netflix, it's on Netflix. I watched it a few days ago. It's called A Band Called Death. And just a phenomenal documentary about these three guys, three brothers from Michigan, who actually found punk rock in 1974, about a year before the Ramones, and it sets in their album sets in a attic for many years. And I don't want to ruin the movie for you, but this is just incredible stuff. I've been spinning this non-stop. I just love it, and just a real good, wonderful film. Great, well, I keep talking about the film, a wonderful story. Just this story of death. Sad and inspiring and everything else. So I've seen this shown a lot. Do yourself a favor and check this out. This is I was going to say it's a reissue, but I guess it's technically not. It's the first time it came out 35 years later on Drag City Records. Death. Crazy good. Really good. I don't know how that one got by me in 2009. The record store day train just keeps on rolling here. Keep visiting other shops that I haven't been to since record store day, and I'm still finding pieces that I wanted to get. One of those being Placebo, A Ball Full of Eyes. This is Placebo's 1971 debut. They're a Belgium jazz fusion band. The great sonic mainliner Andreas tipped me off on these, and it was at the top of my list. I listened to the whole albums are on YouTube, and I listened to them, and it just blew my mind, absolutely blew my mind. And the record store that I went to, and record store, they didn't have it, but because Andreas was like, well, you didn't get Placebo. I was like, it was on my list, that just didn't have it. Well, this place had this one, and I think they had one other one, but I'm probably going to go back and get. So yeah, Placebo, Ball Full of Eyes. This has been shown a lot in the VC. Just phenomenal. I can't thank you enough, my friend Andreas, for tipping me off to that. I would have probably never even known about it if it weren't for you. And it's just exceptionally good. It really is. Another great reissue that I've been meaning to get for a long time. Not hard to find. You guys that watch this channel know that I'm not big on ordering vinyl. I just like to go to the record store and get it, so I've never really ordered this, and finally my record store got it in. It is not Metallica's The Black Album, I assure you. If you look there closely, you're not going to be able to see it. It says FAUST so far at the top. This is the second album from the great German krautrock group FAUST. This is from I want to say this is 71 or 2. FAUST so far on the great Four Men with Beards label. Some people have issue with four men with beards, but I really appreciate what they do. The vinyl is always very nice and thick, as you see. And I appreciate what they do, because an original of FAUST so far is just going to be crazy, crazy expensive. The original on Brain Records would be really expensive. So they also take a lot of pain to do the original artwork, to reproduce it the best they can. The original FAUST so far came with 12 sheets like this, 12 or so sheets of artwork. Four Men with Beards were nice enough to try to reproduce those as close to the originals as possible. If you were to get a bootleg of this album, you wouldn't be getting that either. So again, I'm a fan of Four Men with Beards, and this is just, they really did a really nice job on this this reissue, which is to be expected with them. As far as the music goes, absolutely wonderful, wonderful treat of an album, FAUST so far. I was always sort of partial to FAUST 4, but I'm beginning to think this at least rivals it. FAUST so far and FAUST 4 are really the highlights of that band for me. I know their debut's good. I need to look into getting that as well, and the FAUST tapes. But yeah, FAUST so far. A few more Record Store Day items. Opeth, Watershed. This is one that was sort of on my list, but not really. And it didn't really matter because the record store didn't have it. And then I'm finding these all over at these other record stores that I'm visiting post Record Store Day. So if anyone wants one of these, I can probably get you one, because I know where at least 2 or 3 of these things are. As far as Opeth goes, I've always been sort of an acquaintance of the band, I guess you could say, a casual, very, very casual fan of this band. I appreciate what they do. As far as my metal tastes go, though, I'm much more of as far as new metal goes, a Liturgy, High on Fire, Southern Lord type stuff. The vinyl is just beautiful, though, that sort of lime green, swamp green, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I've never really been big into Opeth. Having said that, so many people in the VC, Derek, Roger, Coleman, a few people like that, are just such big Opeth fans that when I saw this in the bin there, I knew that it was a fairly limited press. And I thought back to Derek and Roger and all these people. I thought, it's limited, here it is. All these guys say this is great. I've listened to it before, but let's give it another chance and maybe it'll grow on me. So we'll see. Again, it's not bad. I really do like a lot of what they do, but it's just not really my thing as far as metal goes. But maybe we'll see. I've seen some other people show this. This is West of Memphis. This is, of course, Nick Cave and Warren Ellis of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, scoring a documentary about the West Memphis 3, which I've not seen this movie. I've seen a few documentaries, actually. There's a lot of them out there on the West Memphis 3, so if you're familiar or you're not familiar with the West Memphis 3, just Wikipedia that and see what the whole court case was about. But look at these cool guys here. Yeah, this is, from what I understand, a press limited to 1,000 on white vinyl. Seeing a lot of white vinyl these days. It seems to me, when you pick up a record that has a hype sticker on it for colored vinyl, you don't know what color, 9 times out of 10 it's probably going to be white. It must be really cheap for them to do white vinyl or something. But this sounds really good. I've listened to some of Nick Cave and Warren Ellis's prior scores for things, the assassination of Jesse James and maybe the Propositions and things like that. And it's sort of par for the course there about what you'd expect, but still it's pretty good. It's more of just a piece of memorabilia as a Nick Cave fan and as a follower of the West Memphis 3 case. It's more of that than something I'll just sit around and listen to all the time. But Nick Cave's extremely talented and Warren Ellis as a composer. If they wanted to do that for a living, I'm sure that they probably could do that pretty successfully. 2 more pieces of Record Store Day paraphernalia. Strife, In This Defiance. This is a screamo act from the late 90s. I was not even familiar with this band, and I watched Dan Vinyl Fury's video, and he picked this up and was raving about it. So I saw it there. It was pretty cheap. It was $15, and with Dan's recommendation, I just decided to go for it since it was so cheap. This is really good. Again, it said colored vinyl, and what did I get? White vinyl. This has a guest track from Chino of the Deftones. This is sort of your late 90s screamo, hardcore type band. It's really good. That's not a genre that I really travel in much, but this is a really good destination if you do feel like going down that road, the screamo road. It's really good. Last I saw, as far as Record Store Day stuff, I saw several people showing this, and I was not even aware of this band, and I'm glad I owe the VC for turning me onto this. This is Pussy Galore, Pussy Gold 5000. It's from the late 80s, I think, and it, of course, has John Spencer of the John Spencer Blues Explosion in it. This is really great stuff. 45 RPM. This is just standard black vinyl. Really kind of that raw power sounding guitars, garage rock, female vocals on some tracks. Really enjoyed it. It's really short. It's more of an EP. I guess it is an EP. 12-inch EP. But yeah, really good. A lot of people showed that and turned me on to that. Oh, phone is ringing. They'll have to wait, folks. A few other things here. Picked this reissue up a while back. This is John Coltrane's Blue Train, a reissue on Blue Note. This was the first Coltrane album that I ever got. I was in high school and I wanted to get into jazz, and I'd heard the names Miles Davis and John Coltrane, so I just went to the C's, and this was the first Coltrane album I saw, which is actually a really good introduction into Coltrane, and I fell in love with it. I had no idea at the time that Coltrane was really abstract and did things like Interstellar and Expression, Ascension. I thought it was just sounded like this all the time, but so here now I'm much more prefer later Coltrane as opposed to this. But having said this, this is just a beautiful album. Gotta love that Blue Note label there. Really nice thick pressing. Came with the CD, so you can listen to it in the car. And I had this on CD, but I never actually owned this one on vinyl for whatever reason. A lot of these guys like Coltrane or Bob Dylan or Miles Davis, there's so much stuff out there that you kind of forget certain pieces. But glad to have this. Listened to it the other day and just took me back to high school. Another jazz LP, found this for $5. Yusef Lateef, Lofty Sound. This is also sort of comparable to Blue Train as far as the style of jazz that's being played. Really phenomenal stuff. Like Train, I also prefer Yusef's later stuff, but this is nice and really thick cardboard. Just knock out a window. It's really nice. They used to make these things really good. Yeah, Yusef. Playing with a medium-sized band, 2 drummers, bass, trumpet, and piano, but sounds really good. And last, a piece of Dylan that was missing from my Dylan collection, The Times They Are Changing. This is Dylan's 3rd album from 1964. One of my favorites, one of my top 5 Dylan LPs for sure. Just never had it on vinyl, always had it on CD. It's a stereo copy. I'd rather have had it in mono, but I'll take what I can get. This was $7, and it was a really nice, clean copy. Well, my top 3 favorite Dylan songs is on this, With God on Their Side, which, yeah, it's kind of a hippie song, but very sentimental to it as far as it was the first Dylan song I heard that just, like, floored me. It was one of the, like, first or second Dylan songs that I ever heard. I guess everyone heard Like a Rolling Stone and things like that, but this was the first, like, non-big song I heard, and I was like, wow, this Bob Dylan guy's pretty smart. Pretty good stuff, so... Anyway, there you go. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so there you go.